It is Mittley from Circle School, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be doing my first Facebook Live in a really long time. So, new business page, long story, but I am back on Facebook. So today I've been talking to clients and members of the Grove, and one of the topics that's been coming up is when you have a circle that is already scheduled and is quite imminent, maybe it's a week away, and you either don't have anybody booked in or you don't have enough people booked in, the numbers that you would like, or to actually make that circle viable in terms of covering your costs and all those other pieces of the pie. So what I wanted to share today was a little sequence that I think can be really helpful when you're fast approaching that circle. There are obviously longer term ways of building your community and filling your circles, and I have a free class coming up where we'll be diving into those at the end of this month. But this is when you've already booked the circle, you've been talking about it, and either for whatever reason it's not currently full or at a level where the number of people coming really makes it viable for you. So firstly, I just wanted to share one thing about my own personal approach, is that once I have decided on a circle, booked the circle, shared the circle, I'm all in. So I know that even if nobody else comes, I'm going to that circle. And the reason for this is I need that to be and stay grounded in that energetic state that this circle is happening, that I'm inviting people in, the circle is open, and to keep talking about it and to keep sharing about it and to keep inviting people in all the way up until it actually happens. And for me, that removes the mind chatter of, should I cancel? Should I go ahead with the circle? I haven't got enough people. Maybe I should cancel. Should I let the people know who've booked? It might not be coming. And all of that energy in deciding whether or not to hold the circle can be allocated to drawing people, inviting people, telling people about the circle. So that's what I do. Just a little disclaimer here, because I sometimes get messages when I share this. I, of course, am not suggesting that you show up to the circle if you're ill, if you have an accident, or if there's some reason outside of your control that means that you're not in a position to show up and hold that circle. I'm talking about times when we perhaps don't have as many bookings as we'd like, not as many people have confirmed that they're coming as we'd like, and we're incurring the cost of the venue, etc. And so for me, I need to know that I'm all in. And if I don't get the numbers, I will show up anyway and hold it for however many people have beautifully committed to coming, have booked their tickets, have entered into that exchange, that reciprocal exchange with me to be there. I will be all in for them. And in the event that nobody was coming, then my intention would be to use that time in the venue to perhaps make videos, take photographs, set up anyway, and just repurpose that time as the venue's already booked, so the time is already booked out. So that is the invitation, to decide how you need to be energetically in order to follow through all the way. Because of course, with anything that we're offering and sharing, especially with circles, we're pouring our hearts and souls into them. And if people aren't booking, that can feel disheartening, and we can get sidetracked with that and perhaps lose sight of the reason that we hold these. So what I wanted to do today was share with you 6 steps, if you like. You don't necessarily have to do them in this order, but these are 6 ways of reconnecting with people who may wish to come to your circle. Now, there's other work that you can do, which I help my clients with in terms of energetic preparation, using your tools to meet any of the doubts and fears that start to arise when people don't book, and the voices that tell us we're not good enough, it's our circle, it's all of these things. So in my experience, it's not your circle. It probably is something more to do with how you're sharing, where you're sharing, how much time you've given yourself to fill that circle. It's probably far more to do with that, and with some of those things that when we do this heartfelt, soul-centered work, we don't always like to talk about, but strategy and marketing, community building, audience building, all of those pieces. But for today, and as I said, we've got a free class happening at the end of the month We'll be going into more detail in those. But for today, what I really wanted to share with you is something you can do if, let's say, you've got a circle this weekend and you haven't got the numbers yet. Try this. So firstly, I made some notes here because my perimenopausal brain forgets things. Firstly, how many people do you want at your circle? That's always the first place to start. Many people I know draw a circle on a piece of paper or make a beautiful image and then start to add names when people join and say thank you so much. And so you're energetically welcoming people in. So when you look at that, if you've done that or having a list, how many people is the kind of minimum number for you? What is it? How many would you like at this circle? So the sort of the best, like the maximum number you'd have, then okay, like if you got that number, you'd be really happy. And then kind of the lowest number that makes that circle for you, meets your costs, etc. So find those three numbers and then write a list of everyone you can think of. Just once you've done that, how many people have already got booked? What's the difference? So you can choose one of those numbers. How many people have got it booked? What's the difference? How many people are you still calling in? So once you've got that number, write a list of everyone you can think of who's already in your community, who's come to previous circles, who perhaps are clients, friends, people you know who would benefit from coming to your circle, who would enjoy coming to your circle, and who your circle would be a good fit for. So these are people that you genuinely know, that you can see them in your circle, you know they'd enjoy it, you know they'd get something from it. And I want you to write a list of those names. Try not to get into any stories about why they don't want to come, why they can't come, that they don't have the money to come, it's too far for them to come, the time won't suit them. See if you can just put all of your stories about why they're not coming aside and just focus at the moment on who they are. And I want you to take a little time to think about each of those people individually, remembering that they are people. And when you think about them individually, rather than kind of the general benefits or the general enjoyment factor of the circle, what do you think each of them individually would receive? Obviously, you can't know this for sure, but you know what you're offering and you know these people. So what is there? What would they most enjoy out of it? What do you think they could receive from coming to that circle? And so really line that up. You may wish to write that down beside next to each person's name. Maybe connection, community, time for themselves. They love ritual. They'd really enjoy the ritual of the circle. So just see if you can articulate what it is that they would receive from coming to circle with you. And then I'm going to invite you to do a practice which I share often, which is to visualize your circle. So take some time, give yourself time for this, sit somewhere quiet. And if visualizing things isn't your thing, you may wish to write this out, or you could use audio and speak it through, but take yourself through that entire process. So from the moment people start to arrive at your circle, see yourself welcoming them, greeting them, letting them take their seats, see how the circle is set up, and then go through everything that you've included in your circle and see each of these people, the ones who have already booked and the people that you put on your list as possible attendees, participants, see each of them there. Really take your time, use your senses to see them, to hear what's happening at this circle, to feel into it and all of the aspects, the centerpiece, the snacks, the gift bags, whatever else you have going on. Visualize it in as much detail as you can, or write it out, or voice record yourself describing it, whichever works best for you. And once you've done that, I want you to write an email to your entire list. Even if some of the people in the list are on the other side of the world, craft an email to your entire list using that visualization. So really describing this experience. You may start with imagining waking up on Saturday morning, knowing you've booked this circle. You arrive at the venue and you see, you meet, you feel, you sense, you taste, you hear, all of these things. So using that visualization to help you describe this circle in as much detail as possible for your list. And then finish that off by inviting people to come, or if it's not local for them, if that's not possible, you could ask them to share if they know anybody who it might appeal to. Okay. Having done that, I want you to go back to your list of the people who you could see there, who you think would enjoy coming and would maybe benefit from, and reach out to them personally. So these are people you have a relationship with somehow. So reaching out to them personally, using your discernment to decide what is most appropriate. So that may be sending them a message, that may be giving them a ring, maybe sending them a private email, maybe DMing them via Instagram, whatever feels authentic and in integrity with the relationship that you have with them. So I'm not talking about, sleazily popping into people's DMs like, hey, I think you'd really enjoy this circle. These are people you genuinely have a relationship with, and you can genuinely say that. Let them know about the circle. Say you think you genuinely thought of them being there. You have got a couple of spaces left, so you're just reaching out to see if it does appeal to them and if they would like to come. No expectation that they have to, but if they'd like to, they could find more information here. You hope they're well and all of those things. That's why it's a legitimate, genuine connection. Now, this works really well because it's really nice to be thought of. And I've had people reach out to me like that when it's a legitimate, authentic connection and let me know about something that I have missed, because we miss a lot of things. And I've been really grateful that they've told me about it. So try that and don't take it personally. Some people will reply, some won't. Don't take that to mean that they think you're an awful person. Just do it with authenticity. Maybe practice heart coherence before you do it. Take a risk and allow it to be. Don't let it mean anything about who you are or what they think of you. Okay, so then the last step is to reach out to those who have booked. So if you have a couple of people who have already booked, reach out to them, share your excitement with them that they're coming, share your enthusiasm for what you're offering and that you can't wait to gather with them, and let them know that you still have a few places available and you were wondering if they had anybody they might be able to share it with, and if so, here's the link. It would be wonderful to have it full. It will be amazing anyway, but we do have some spaces. So if you know anybody who may also like to join us, thank you so much. So those are your 6 steps. It can be really effective. I worked with a client recently who filled a one-day retreat going through this process. So I offer it to you. Play with it, make it your own, and remember to keep sharing on socials and do all the things that you're already doing. And I would love to know how that resonated with you, if that's worked, and trusting that there will be those fears and there will be those doubts that come up, but allowing yourself to meet them. Okay, so just to finish up, if you'd like to join me for the class, it's on the 31st of July, 10 a.m. British Summer Time, Monday. I'll pop the link into the caption below so that you can register for that. And in that, we'll be talking about more longer term strategies in terms of nurturing your community so that your circles fill, plus specific things to do to fill your circles at the time when you're sharing them for the first time. So today was about when that hasn't happened and some things you can do before giving up. Thank you so much for joining me with you in Circle in these wild times.